Hi, I'm here today to show you a lot about learning sounds in the Montessori classroom. Now, I have a stack of sandpaper letters, which I'll get into later. This is what I use in the classroom. You do not need to have sandpaper letters. You can simply write large sounds on cardstock or some other kind of heavy paper for your child, and you can use them the exact same way as I use the sandpaper letters in any of today's little lessons. So the first thing I'll show you is called rainbow writing. You can see I have a chalkboard, and I have a piece of white chalk and a couple of other pieces of colorful chalk. Now, I also like to use sidewalk chalk for this. It can be very delightful to have a big, huge piece of chalk in the little small hand. It also encourages just gripping easier. We don't need a child to use a pencil grip right now, like a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old child. When they're getting to be 5 and 6, yes, you want to encourage the pencil grip, but that's really up to you. I can show this just holding onto it like a young child would grab the piece of chalk, and that's fine. So we'll take the first sound here, which is S, like for snake or serendipity. I like to use big words with the children and help them learn more vocabulary, right? So we have this here. I would show tracing it. S. Now I'm going to write this right here. First, I'll use the white chalk. S. Every time I write, I like to say the sound. There you can see the big S on my chalkboard. That part is for the adult to do. Then the child's job is to make the S very colorful by tracing right on top of your writing. We'll see, I have now turned it pink. You can see that slight pink. I will turn it blue now. Now it also has a little blue line. Last color that I have is green. Turn it green. There you go. Now I have done all of my colors, and you can encourage a lot more by having more colors. I'll erase my S, and I will write whatever's next. If you don't have a chalkboard, it's just fine to use a dry erase board and do the same thing. You can use paper and write one and then have your child kind of copy you or trace over top of your writing. The chalkboard is always the easiest place to start because you can just erase it. And then I always love to, once the child masters individual letters, I like to combine letters. You might start with some different parts of the name. Like my name is Abigail, so I wouldn't necessarily start with the whole thing at first, but maybe connecting the A and the B at the beginning, like this. Maybe I would just start with that and let the child trace for a while, and then add, the I, A, B, I, and then continue until all of a sudden, right, to the child, they're writing their whole name. You can also do short words, especially once a child is starting to recognize short words like cat or dog or mom or dad, things that have nice phonetic sounds, right? D, A, D, M, A, M, the same, so you have a one-to-one correspondence with the letter sound, right, and the letter itself. You don't have anything making any weird noises in the word. Those are great words to also do right here. But first, start with single letters, start getting them comfortable with those sounds. It's a great way to kind of check in and see if your child is understanding what the sounds actually are, right? Because that's the link from being able to just recognize and put down and write to then reading. So we want to be very careful about that link. So I'll take my chalkboard away for a moment and I'll show you some other games. I have 3 sounds here. These are 3 that I tend to start with in the classroom. This one says k. This one, ah. And this one, ah. So I would show what they are and how to say them, how to trace them, and then do a little game with the children where I would ask, point to ah, show me k, where is ah, give me, right, put over here, go put on the book, anything you want to do with them. That just encourages repetition and play with these sounds and lets your child really start to solidify, yes, this is k, this is ah, this is ah. The last step is asking your child to tell you, oh, what does this sound say? What is this sound? What is this sound? When they can tell you very easily what each sound is, then you know that they really have it in their brain. It's important to practice every day your sounds because the sounds can go away like that. Now you see I have a couple of animals up here. I've already carefully curated these, right? Because the next step of this game is to find me things that have a beginning sound with one of these sounds, right? So I have a k, k, camel, then I can match it to my k, k sound. Have an a, alligator, goes on a, and I have an octopus, which goes on ah, right? You may not have these kinds of animals in your home, but you certainly can find things in your house. You may need to find things that have the sound in the middle, right? Like cup is very easy to find the k, k cup, but ah, usually you might have to find something in the middle like a box, b, ox. You can talk about the sounds in the middle of a word that way very easily, right? I in my house have a cat, k, at, or even I can match to this sound for Abigail, right? So you never really know what you're gonna find, and it makes the games really, really, really fun. Yeah? So we can get rid of those. Now I also want to show you, besides objects, you could have pictures, right? I've been singing a song called Mango Fandango with my class, and you could look that song up if you want. It's great for first sounds and introducing things. This is a quince. If you can see it, there's a little bit of glare from this bright day. There you go, quince. So I would say, oh, what sound do you hear first in quince? Qu, quince, qu, quince. You hear that qu, right? And then I might introduce, this is the sound qu, qu. This is how we trace qu. Qu, qu, quince. And match them. So you can find pictures you have. Here is a mango. Mango. Do the same thing, right? Of course you can trace it. And the last one I have raspberry. 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 Raspberry starts with r. There we go. So that is yet another type of game that you might be able to do in your home with some pictures. Get rid of that. Okay. Once your child has mastered a bunch of sounds and is able to bring them to you very fluently, I would say, right, and easily, then it's time for our knock-knock games and hide-and-seek games and other things like that, right? So I'll show you a little bit of knock-knock with some sounds here. Just make a pile of sounds upside down in front of you. My children love this. It's very simple, but they adore it. So you go, knock-knock. Who's there? What? 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 And that's all that knock-knock is. Hide and seek would be picking a few sounds, hiding them around the home, and saying, let's see what I have here. Oh, I have x. Like say you hid X. You could say, go find me, X. And then your child would go and find the sound and bring it to you and say, look, I found X. And again, trace it for you. Okay? Now when you play hide and seek, you really want to limit your sounds, limit where you put them, because you do want to be able to find them all and make sure that they're pretty obvious. Okay? So I'm just going to go through more of these sounds just really quickly to tell you what they are in the Montessori way of teaching, so you have a way to support your child learning the sounds at home. We know S, E, I, A, N, V, B, Z, J, Y, like yak or yes. This one can trip people up. O, G, D. Such a large pile. T. So there, now you have a lot of tools for working with sounds. Keep practicing your cursive, and I'll see you in the classroom soon, I hope. Bye.